A bit of a Champions League recap. We'll start off with Liverpool. Tuesday night, I was at the game. We played Lille, lost, yeah, for the first time since September. It's the first game they lost since then. And I have to say, good team. They played really well around at Anfield for the first half an hour. We obviously got the goal. They came back, and then we got the winner. Luckily, a bit of a deflection from Harvey Elliott's shot. But if you don't take these shots, you will not score, right? If you don't buy a ticket to the raffle, you ain't going to win it, right? You've got to be in it to win it, Rob. 7 wins out of 7, 2 goals conceded across 7 games. Unbelievable from Liverpool so far. And there's a bit of a dead rubber now against PSV Eindhoven, a chance to rest the superstars next week as well. But trust Liverpool, right? It's the first season this format comes in. We're at the top, right, of both leagues, as you know. But I was looking last night about the potential teams we could face, right, as a top-placed team. It's from 15th to 18th we're looking at. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid again, Manchester City and Celtic currently occupy those positions. So it's all very well being at the top, but you've got to play those teams in the round of 16.
That's if those teams get through.
Exactly. Yeah, there's still time to change that. At the minute, 20 teams could face Liverpool because there's obviously 1 game to go. So very happy with that result.
I'll be honest with you, for someone that's not in the Champions League, I found the format really confusing. I really do.
Thank you.
I find it so confusing. It's not exciting to me. That's
right. It's for me.
It is to you.
I've been. I'm the same as you, Nicky. Right? People have been having a go at me because there are a lot of people who listen. Let's be real. There's a lot of people who have liked this new format, and I think when we get to the sort of round of 16 playoff thing, that's going to be exciting.
Oh yeah. Well, next Wednesday's the most exciting day of the competition
so
far.
So
we'll kick off at the same time.
So that's the last,
of
the
the
group
last
stage.
chance to get into that 24.
I'm still confused by it.
But what I find confusing, really, as being part of it, is just the fact that you play a team. It's like you're just playing random teams.
No home and away. You prefer the home and away.
Yeah. So I personally think what would have worked better would have been to have the 36 teams and 2 big groups and, you know, loads of so 8 go through from one group and 8 go through from one group, and the top, say, 2
that makes more sense,
go through automatically. I think that might have been better because it just seems a bit random. Like we're going to Girona next week.
Good place, mate.
Yeah, I know, but it's random. It's like
we've only played time.
And that we've only played them once. Why are we playing them at their place?
I like the old format because you play everyone home and away. And it filters out the best of them 4. You know, it's all,
the one thing I would say with this new format is that it has thrown up some unbelievable, like, you know, look at City. I mean, they could be out.
Well, listen, they are teetering on the edge of going out of Europe, but a team that did win as well was Arsenal, 3-0 against Dinamo Zagreb last night. I saw Julian's fan cam. He's talking about they've won the Champions League already or something like that.
Where did he say that? Where did you get that from?
We're the top of the Champions League for home games or something.
I think he said that we haven't conceded at home.
Neither have we, apart from one.
Right. Listen, we all know the Champions League is not about what you do now.
Of course.
First, obviously, you've got to get through in that.
Yeah,
how many years have we seen Real Madrid be rubbish in the early parts of the Champions League?
And in the final, mate.
Right?
Twice.
But then later on, they peak when it comes to. So it's about peaking at the right time. But for Arsenal, listen, despite how horrible everyone says we've been this season, you know, 2nd in the Premier League, and we're 3rd in this Champions League format. We only lost 1 game. Very unlucky to lose that against Inter. And we've done pretty well in it. You know, I mean, I remember we played Sporting. When we played them, they were unbeaten. They just smashed up City. You know, we beat them 5-1 away. Yeah. You know,
they've lost 3 games now after Amorim's left them.
Yeah, PSG who beat City. Right, we beat PSG pretty comfortably. You know what I mean? So Arsenal have done well so far in it.
To flip the coin, you're saying you want the home and away. Would you want to go away to PSG?
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah, I just think it's, to me, if you had it, I get that the old format needed shaking up. I just think it would have been, if you had bigger groups, then you'd still have to go away to PSG. And then the only other thing I think about this format is it's a lot of games, isn't it? Like. Yep. You know, it's 2 additional games in January, and then those teams that are going to be in the playoffs. Luckily, our teams look like, well, you definitely not in there. It would take an absolute miracle for us to end up being in those playoffs, right? That's an extra 2 games for them again in February.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of games.
It's a lot of games.
It's crazy.
It's a lot of games.
A lot of money, though.
Another
if you're running the tournament.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all
That's
about.
what it's all
isn't it?
about, bro.
Right. What a game it was. Benfica and Barcelona. 4-5, 5-4.
What do you think of that game?
Wow. I mean,
Right.
the quality
Brilliant game, right?
wasn't great.
Brilliant game.
Defensively,
But let me
they
tell
were
you
poor.
something. For me, if I'm a Benfica fan, if there's a Benfica version of Ty, right, he's still complaining about that now because I thought they got ripped. They got ripped off by the referee. I'm not being right because first of all, the penalty, the Yamal penalty,
Bit
is
soft.
the softest
Very
penalty
soft.
you ever see. The guy barely touched him. He fell down. The referee gives
Like
it.
Havertz against
Right.
United.
Right? He's trying to bring this right. That was never a penalty, by the way, which
True.
is what I said at the
True.
time. It was as bad as that.
Yeah.
But then what makes it worse is that Benfica, when it was 4-4, they had a nailed-on penalty. The Barcelona player fell on the back. The guy's just about to score. He's no way he's going to dive or anything. Falls on the back of the Benfica player, right? Nailed on penalty. The referee waves it on. They go straight down the other end in the same motion and score to make it 5-4. It should really have been 5. It should have been the score the other way.
The other way around, yeah.
And then VAR looks at it and sticks with the on-field decision. Now, that was shocking.
Shocking.
Absolutely
But what a game.
shocking.
What a
Great
game.
game.
It's a cracking game.
Great
yeah.
game.
3-1 up,
Great
4-2
game.
up.
Thank God that
They
wasn't my
lose the
team
game.
playing because I would have been fuming.
Absolutely. Well, listen, what a week of Champions League football it is. As you mentioned, Man City were 2-0 up against PSG last night. They ended up losing 4-2.
That was a great game as well, by
What
the way.
a game that was. PSG did very well. And actually, should have been more for PSG.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
2 or 3
Battered
goals
them.
disallowed for offside
Battered
at the
them.
end as well. Speaking of Man City, it is Manchester City versus Chelsea this weekend. City have failed to beat Chelsea in the last 2 meetings. Both have now ended in draws. Chelsea back to winning ways after beating Wolves 3-1 at Stamford Bridge. City, as we know, their last game in the Prem, they thumped Ipswich 6-0, but of course did lose to PSG, halting that momentum there. Cole Palmer, 14 goals in the Prem so far this season. Haaland with 16, bit of a head-to-head there.
Excuse me.
Nicky, looking at this game, I mean, who's going to win this game? Because both teams are open to conceding goals. They're end-to-end teams, and City are going to have their absolute heads to pick up after that defeat to PSG.
This is a real tough one because both teams they've been shocking lately. I mean, Chelsea have they started brilliantly. People started touting them for the league, but a bit of inexperience has come in, I think, and they've dropped their heads a little bit. It happens in the season. Man City. I went to Man City 3-4 weeks ago now. Watched them. They beat us 4-1.
Fulkrug scored, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah, but they were shocking. They were shocking.
You should
They
have
was
been 2 up before.
Yeah.
they scored.
If we would, I think if we'd have had Potter now, then
Yeah.
I think we'd have beat them.